2020 has been a year. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure where I even want to start. I guess we'll take it from the top. The time from January to about April was honestly not too bad. Even with the arrival of the global pandemic, I was doing what I could to hold it together. I was making my way through the semester with little to no problems. However, I can't quite put my finger on what the catalyst was at the time, but I just felt hollow and empty. It was a really difficult time and reminded me of some of the dark days I had back in 2018 that really scared me. I started to spiral out of control, failing to keep track of myself just like I did last year, and I just felt worthless, that I had nothing to provide to the world. It was then I wrote this. I consider this one of the biggest mistakes in my life. Not warning everyone I was in a bad state, just the extent that I went to. A few hours after posting that, my sister saw the post and sent it to my dad, who immediately came to me and pulled me to the side to talk about it. She should never have seen that. I always try to show a tough stature and keep her happy, and I failed in that regard. I still regret to this day, and thinking about it makes me sick. Nevertheless, I was able to pick myself back up and look forward once again. However, it being 2020, it was bound to get bumpy again. And it did. From there on, I started falling into these depressed states over and over again. This was nothing new. I've come to understand that my depression works in waves, usually starting every other week. However, I noticed it was getting even worse than it usually is. I feel like I'm talking in circles since this idea is already known. However, that's honestly how it feels in regards to depression. It's just a never-ending cycle of emptiness and kills any motivation you have. It eats at you and takes away everything you are and replaces it with demons and negativity until there's nothing left. When I came back to my apartment, I thought I had finally got things under control. I was entering my final year of college, leaning now more into classes I cared about than the typical gen eds. However, I still felt empty, like I wasn't making any progress personally, even though I was. It didn't help by the fact that I dealt with an alcoholic roommate and both entered and left a relationship all at the same time. I honestly feel like I wasted my life away these past 6 months, even if I actually haven't. The emptiness I felt back then, I still feel today. I want to break out of this low I feel like I've been stuck in over the last 2 to 3 years, and I plan on doing that by following 2 commitments. Firstly, I'm going back to counseling. I stopped at the end of 2019 following the passing of my counselor Mark, who helped guide me through a lot of difficult times. I felt like I was doing better though, despite all that, and didn't need one anymore. However, I can see I needed one now more than ever with everything going on in the world. I won't get to know them long since I'll be graduating, but it's still better than nothing at this point. Secondly, I want to start seriously leaning more into shoutcasting. I keep talking about wanting to do it, yet not really having a clear route on how to get there. At this point, it's evident to me that if I want to make it in this area, I need to carve my own path. My goal is by the end of the summer, I want to shoutcast a tournament. I don't care if it gets 100 viewers or 2 viewers. I still want to get my feet wet in this business, and will do whatever it takes to do so. 2021 is shaping up to be a good year. It won't get well for a while, but I truly feel that once I graduate and enter the next act of my life beyond school, that things will take a serious turn. I sure hope they do, at least. I said last year that it was time to keep climbing after getting my first steps in on bettering myself. This year I lost my footing and slipped a little, but I'm not planning on letting that stop me. If I stop now, what was everything I've done up till now for? Let's look forward into 2021 and give a nice fuck you to 2020 on the way out.
Oh.